What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the BSP Podcast. And man, don't let the fightings get hot, baby. Don't let them get hot. Wow. Big turnaround from the last time we had an episode. It's another episode of the BSP Podcast, a trillion 10 here. Go follow on Twitter at BSP Podcast, at Brendan Petrilli on Instagram and Twitter. Make sure you subscribe to the YouTube page. See my beautiful face, this beautiful smile. Because the Phillies are red hot, baby. 4 wins in a row, longest all season. And the bats. It's finally hitting season. June hit, and they're raking. 6 runs against San Fran. 10 the first game against the Angels. 7 and 9. And two of those games, they weren't relying on the long ball. But yesterday afternoon, the Vegas connection, Bryson Stott coming up huge with the walk-off 3-run homer. Bryce Harper with the grand slam, absolutely badass. All the camera angles, that was probably one of the most perfectly documented plays in Philadelphia's Phillies history. All the different camera angles, just the way he's just like, he knows what to do in those big moments. He knows how to react. He knows how to get everybody going. The theatrics of it all, and he absolutely crushed that ball into the second deck in right field to tie the ball game. Finally, I was saying this is the last episode. Please make the summer exciting. And they finally did what I thought they weren't going to do, and that was fire Joe Girardi. They fired him. He's gone. Probably be back on MLB Network talking about the Phillies this rest of this season, which sucks for him. But oh well, man. Maybe it was Joe Girardi's fault this whole time. They just needed that spark underneath of them there. They didn't have that fire. They didn't have anybody pushing the buttons. Like what I was saying, he was just so frustrated on that last year of his deal. Oh, they're just not hitting. No, dude. Sometimes you just got to try something different. And that's what they did. That's what Dave Dombrowski did. They shook it up. 4 wins in a row. They ain't bad. 3 under Rob Thompson. It's a good start. That's for damn sure. They needed it. Something had to change as we started moving into the last couple months of the season here. You're still, 11 games back, I believe, of the Mets. Yeah, 11 games back. The Braves are a couple games ahead of you. Try to pull up the wild card here because that's honestly what you're probably looking at. The Mets are a good baseball team. But, still holding out hope, but it's not going to mean anything if the Phillies can't consistently win these baseball games. And there's a little bit of concerning still in that back end of that bullpen where Knebel has blown 5 saves in the last 2 weeks. That just cannot happen. I guess today wasn't a save. It was a tie ball game, but he giving up the winning run just to get bailed out by the rookie, Bryson Stott. Can't keep happening. Just putting guys on base. Now, you can argue over whether that ball to Rhys Hoskins, that RBI single there, ball came out 99.8 miles per hour. Rhys probably's got to flag that ball down, but it's definitely a tough play. Going to his left, he kind of slid a little bit. He's got to move his feet, even drop to his knees, let it hit off the chest. It's going to hurt, but that's what you got ice for. But he keeps putting that leadoff guy on first, and you're just like, oh, not again. Because he has such great stuff. But he just doesn't hit his spots when he needs to. He hasn't been lights out the way he is needed to be because this team cannot afford giving up these late inning runs. Because you've seen, that's why they're in this hole. The bats aren't always going to be there. Now, finally, Dingerdelphia, it's hitting season. Hopefully they can keep putting up these runs, but you can't keep relying on 7, 8, 9, 10 runs a game. Hey, it's going to be a lot of fun if you do. But when you get down to it, this team is finally getting to what they were paid to do, what the hype was about, and that's driving them in. Now, hopefully we can keep it going throughout this month of June. It's going to be a lot of fun. if they can. Yeah, you have a couple interesting series coming up now. Everybody was talking about how the schedule kind of lightens up a little bit. I mean, you got the Brewers 3 games, and you play the Diamondbacks, who are atrocious. And you got the Marlins, the Nationals, Texas Rangers, and you finish the Padres and Braves. A lot of winnable games. And if this team's going to get back in it, what they have struggled so much over the past couple of years is they would lose 2 out of 3. What they've done in the beginning of this year is drop series to these bad baseball teams. You just cannot afford it, especially with the hole you've dug yourself in. Got a bit of a stretch here where you can make up some ground. If you can get within 7 games, 6 games by the end of the month, first place, now we're talking. You got an opportunity here, and they got to strike. You can tell the boys are ready. They're buzzing. They know what's on the line. Joe Girardi's gone. Who's next if they can't produce? If this team's still struggling 15 games back, 11 games back at the trade deadline, maybe Dombrowski pulls the trigger and moves one of these guys that they just brought in, Castellanos or Schwarber. Who knows? Maybe he flips a pitcher, an Aaron Nola, a Zach Eflin. I don't think they would, because I think they're building for the next couple of years now. But there's definitely, these guys know, hey, we're not just going to try to be a middling team here. We need to produce. And they have the past 4 games. Don't let them get hot. That's what I keep tweeting. Don't let these fightings get hot. Because if they get hot, it's going to be a fun team. Now, I'm still cautious, if you can tell, watch it on YouTube. Because it is only 4 games. It was against a good Angels team. And the best thing about it was, I think between Trout and Ohtani, they only had 2 hits total. And Ohtani had both of them. One was an infield single the other day. That was a great job. Those 2 are superstars, faces of the MLB, and you held them to 2 hits. It's exciting stuff. You're getting the pitching here and there. You'll get a really good start like Eflin did the other night, 8 innings strong. You'll get a good Aaron Nola start for 6 innings, and then he'll blow it in either the 6th or the 7th. Zach Wheeler's giving you everything you got. You'll have Jarius Familia come in. Hey, 1, 2, 3 inning here. Give up 4 walks and 3 runs the next. It's all about building that consistency, and that's where they're going to need to do moving forward here throughout this month of June. Like I said, if they can get within that 6 games of the Mets by the end of this month, I don't think that's a tall stretch. I haven't really looked. I looked at the Mets a little bit. I mean, they took split 2-2 out in LA. But that's when you're going to get interesting here as you move to the trade deadline in July. That's when Dave Dombrowski is going to take a look at this team and say, do I go get another reliever to help out Corey Knebel, maybe put him into the setup role? You've had some injuries with Segura now, probably most likely done for the year with the hand. But now you got guys like, Maton, but now he's banged up with the shoulder. But Bryson Stott making plays. Johan Camargo. You got Didi back. Got the single, getting on base in the 9th inning there. Funny how that works. Got opportunities here. You have young players that are finally coming up and producing. If Stott can get hot, batting 8th or 9th in this lineup, it just makes it so much deeper. It's what we were talking about at the beginning of the year. If Moniak and Stott can produce, not a lot. We're talking like maybe 260 average. Get on base, singles, walks. You don't need to be hitting the long ball like they've been doing. Stott's been doing the past couple of days, but that's a bonus. Just get on base for these guys. The bats are finally coming around. Bryce Harper is locked in again. Schwarber's been locked in. Castellanos is going to get there. Hoskins, who knows? But because of those young players now, they can extremely strengthen this lineup and make that push for the end of the year. I mean, you look at it. The Mets got the Padres. You got the Angels, the Brewers, the Marlins. They're a solid team. They got 2 series against them. Then you got 2 series against the Astros. That's a tough month. That's a real tough month. If they can get to that 7-6 games back by the end of this month here, now we're talking. Don't let the Fightins get hot, baby. Don't let them get hot. Thanks, everybody, for listening, watching on YouTube. Another episode of the BSP Podcast. We're on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you get your podcasts. Subscribe. Click the little notification bell. Make sure you click that so you get notified every time I post a video on YouTube, too. Real important. Drop a like, comment. Let me know. Do you think they can get to that 6 games back? That's kind of the mark I'm putting on. Let me know. Drop a comment. See everybody in the next one. I think I'll be trying to go to the Phillies game this Friday. If anybody wants to meet up, try to do some stuff down at the game. Bryce Harper bobblehead. It'll be fun. Shout out to the 2-5. Go Birds. And hey, Dinger Delphia, baby. Don't let them get hot.